Well, good morning to Coralie and good evening to everybody else. Mary Hunt here from Water. I want to welcome you to our sixth meditation of 2024. We're very happy to have newly graduated MDiv Pamella Miller with us tonight. Congratulations. To offer meditation on Nurtured by the Sea. It's good to have each and every one of you with us. And as I said earlier, it's a small group tonight for reasons of people's schedules, I assume. So we'll um, push along here. And sometimes I have found, I don't know if a few of you might join me in saying this, that sometimes when the groups have been small, they've been even more powerful. Virginia, I think you're shaking your head. I think we've had that experience a couple of times. Last month at this hour, Sister Corbin Hannah from the Sisters of Providence led us on the theme to be whole, something to which most of us aspire. The notes for that good session can be found with the video on our website at www.waterwomensalliance.org. And Corbin helped us to consider wholeness as a human right. And I particularly appreciated that because I think, especially for people who have had experiences of massive uh, difficulty, and in her case, it was a head injury. To be whole is really a human right, and to do everything we can do to help one another to be whole. So, I also want to mention our friend Brad Lutz, who's usually with us, and I want to just let you know that he had open heart surgery since our last meeting. I've been in touch with him. He's doing quite well, and I assured him we would wish him every healing blessing. So please keep our friend Brad Lutz in mind tonight or this morning as you move into meditation. He's a wonderful man and always does something very, in my view, very powerful when he leads meditation. He's a retired clergy from the United Church of Christ, and he's been expecting this surgery. It wasn't an emergency, but open heart surgery is open heart surgery. So anyway, just I have been in touch, and he has assured me that he was still in the hospital when I last heard from him, but he said he was coming along nicely. So all healing blessings to Brad. Tonight we begin as always with a land acknowledgement. We at Water are on indigenous land in Silver Spring, Maryland, traditional and contemporary land of the Piscataway and Anacostan peoples. We acknowledge with tears the trauma and injustice toward indigenous people and other people of color that is so deep in American culture and history, and we join in efforts to eradicate it and to make reparations for the genocide involved. Water's work, as you know so well, is aimed to bring about social justice. So I invite you to consider the Native people on whose land you sit at this time. Feel free to put their names in the chat if you wish, just as a way of bringing them into our consciousness. Let's take a moment. Thank you very much. And if you would just mute your own audio, that would be great. And we can proceed with a good, clear reception so that those who watch this and listen after we finish will have also the benefit of a good connection. Let me simply say something about the format, which I think all of you know. Tonight's input will be coming from Pamella Miller, as I mentioned earlier, our newly minted MDiv from Wesley Theological Seminary. And we asked the presenter to do something brief, somewhere in the 7-8 minute range, just to spark our contemplation. And then we spend about 22 minutes in silence together, enough time to get ourselves into a meditative state. And I ring the gong before we start. And again when we finish. So when you hear the gong, you'll know it's time to move into meditation. And Lisa will very kindly put, who's my colleague at Water, will put the image up that has been selected for tonight, and a water image, of course. And she will put that up for us to use for our meditation if we wish. And you're welcome to stay on or take your camera off during your own meditation. But we'll spend that time together and then open the floor for conversation with further instructions to be given at that point. As many of you are experienced, you know that there are lots of styles of meditation, and you know what best works for you. Breathing or a word or phrase acting as a mantra. Do whatever works for you. This is not a prescriptive or instructive kind of meditation, but simply an invitation. The key is that we're going to be doing it together. which Nancy Sylvester, who pioneered this approach, calls communal contemplation and dialogue. And for those of you who are Nancy Sylvester fans and friends, she has a new book coming out, and I actually have it in my possession to read and to blurb, and I'm just delighted that I think she's done such good with this methodology and with her own commitment to communal contemplation and dialogue, that having a book about it will really help us to deepen our own practice, and also hopefully result in some good energy in this poor, pathetic world in which we inhabit. So please mute your phone, and then we'll come back for your video, audio, whatever you wish. Just mute so that we aren't distracted. I want to introduce Pamela, who offered a meditation, some of you will remember, in November of 22 on Rest to Achieve Potential. That was the title, Rest to Achieve Potential. It was very well received. We all took away something about the need to chill out. And I think for the summertime, at this point, it's a very good topic. And I went back to it because it really is an invitation to quiet ourselves and to rest. And that through the rest, rather than through the activity, we really do accomplish more. And it's a funny paradox, but it works. Pamela just finished, as I mentioned, her MDiv at Wesley Theological Seminary, and she finished 2 very productive years with us at Water as part of a practicum, which is called the Practice of Ministry and Mission at Wesley Theological Seminary. And instead of going to a congregation or a parish or a church community, although she serves one or works very closely with one, she continues her ministry continued her ministry in Water for the 2 years, because so many people are finding that, as you very well know, churches are not the only place where spirituality and theology and ethics are present. And so she came to us, and it was delightful to have her stay a second year, because once you kind of get into the process, the second year can be even more fruitful. And I think both years were very good. You'll be happy to know that we're celebrating her graduation later this week, along with Brooke Andrews, who's another one of our staff people who graduated from University of Maryland. And we also had Tashika Rhodes graduate, but she won't be able to join us. However, Clara Francie Cromer, whom some of you remember, who was also in this program at Wesley and was at Water, gosh, now 10 years ago, and she has been the clergy person for Pamela. So we begin to see a kind of development of a whole, as it were, a whole group of women who now will mentor each other. And Pamela, I'm guessing that the day will come when you will be a mentor for you'll be a clergy mentor for one of our Water people. And I look forward to that, because I think your own maturity and your own style of ministry is really very impressive. And Pamela's not a beginner in ministry. Some people come to us and they're just beginners. They've come out of college and gone right to seminary. But Pamela's had a lot of life experience, and she's experienced, particularly as a hospital chaplain. She comes, as she'll say, originally from Jamaica, living now some years in the D.C. area. So we're delighted to have you share your thoughts tonight, Pamela, on being nurtured by the sea as you continue your immersion in water, all puns intended. I hope that Pamela's time at Water has enhanced her already fruitful ministry, as I know she has enhanced life for all of us. So I put you in the capable hands of our dear Pamela.
Okay, well, thank you for that introduction, Mary. And I look forward to going through the ordination process and to mentor someone at Water. So, nurtured by the sea. When I use the word nurture, you basically think of the giving care, caring for something, tending to something. And so this is looking at how does the sea tend to us? How does water tend to us? And I came up with, actually looked at this Earth Law Center, and they have this quote that says, "We are the ocean and the ocean is us." And that we need to establish a relationship with the ocean in order so because the planet needs the ocean and the earth needs the ocean. Without the oceans, we don't have this planet. It is a part of the planet. Um, the ocean sustains life. That's where we get water from. A lot of water evaporate to go form the clouds and to come back down as rain to water the earth to give us food. So human depends on healthy ocean. If our oceans aren't healthy, then we're not healthy either. And we need to keep our oceans at the levels where they're not flooding the dry land. One of the things I thought about when I was preparing this is how magnificent it is that this great vast ocean, there's so many land that's below sea level, but the ocean is not spilled over. It kept its bounds so that we can all live and share the planet together. I remember when I was in high school back in 1982, and had the law of the sea. Um, the law of the sea was passed, and the headquarters was in Kingston, Jamaica. And our high school and other high schools around the island, we had a mock United Nations gathering where we all dressed up. They have like 165 countries are member of the Law of the Sea, apart from the UK, the European Union. And so we all dressed in costumes representing the different countries, and we're all debating. I wasn't part of the debating team, but I went to see, and it was amazing to see that happen, discussing how we can keep the sea free for everyone so that it continue to produce. We do not use the ocean is not a resource. It's a living thing that we need to take care of in order for it to care for us. So some of my thing with the sea, what I love about the sea, as I said, I grew up with the sea all around me. My birth sign naturally is Pisces, so I'm a water person. I love being in the water. I have great family times. In Jamaica, we have Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. That was a family time where my sisters and I, we go to the beach and we hang out and just spend time there, running up and down on the beach, getting rid of some of all this food that we eat that we didn't need to eat at the time. I have a special connection with the sea with my mother. In the 60s, I think she did a cataract surgery on the ship Hope. And she shared her experience about being on the ship, the hospital. And one other thing I wanted to do with her was to go on a cruise so we'll be on this big boat on the sea together. I love that picture that we chose for this afternoon because it reminds me of um, in my younger youth when I took my cousins from Kingston and we go to the beach and we go on these boats. These were just people with motorboats by this beach. And we take these rides that take us so far out that we cannot see land. And at that time, having no fear and going out without even life jacket, not even realizing the risk that we're taking. So I look back at it now and see how much the sea nurtured us, kept us out there in all that danger. And when it is choppy and that boat goes up and back down, it felt like a roller coaster. You could hear us scream and enjoying it, not realizing the danger we were in. But that was one way I see the sea nurturing us. Another thing, so my high school is out in the bay, Mark Bay. So we're on the top of a hill and we look down on the sea. And there are times you're just sitting there and you look out the window and you get lost, you forget you're in class. And I remember having a teacher she's from Ohio. And when she came, sometimes she would be mesmerized. She would walk out the class just looking out in the sea, forgetting that she's teaching. So the sea have that, make you that can mesmerize you like that. So that's just some of the things for me with the sea. Oh, the other thing is I worked in downtown Kingston, close to where the Law of the Seabed Authority is. And during my lunchtime, sometimes I would just walk across the pier, get on the ferry, ride across to Port Royal, and ride back across. That's my lunchtime, just enjoying being on the water. So the sea really helps to calm, and especially if it's one of those days when you're dealing with something hectic and you just need to take a break, just going by the sea, having your hands in it or your feet in the sea, it is such can be such a relief. So my thing is that I see the sea as a great big swimming pool. And just like we go in the pool and the waves as like jacuzzi jets. So when you go into the sea and the waves that beat over you, it's like your body's being massaged by a jet. You come out, you're feeling refreshed, and it's a therapeutic experience. So I have this book, Seascapes, Inspirations and Meaning, drawn from Serenity of the Sea. And I would like to just share some of the inspirations. It was written by Don Wally, and I'll go through some of them. The seashore becomes each visitor's welcomes each visitor with the promise of sunlit discovery. And those who come to the sea to be refreshed and renewed can share the blessings of serenity and return home again, inspired and restored by the spirit of the sea. Here we find the difference between being alone and loneliness. Those who walk alone are never lonely. When they hear the voices of the sea whispering along with the wind, and the sea and see the face of the sea smiling back at the day and dreaming in the moonlight, when they feel the hand of the sea reaching out cool fingers to comfort and care and caress. And when all that encumbrance us is cast into the sea, we receive greater pleasure, peace of mind. The outward simplification of life, the freedom from possessions, is only the beginning, the first leg of a voyage into ourselves. And as time ebbs away, curling moments into the fluid treasury of the sea, we begin to give up our invincible, invisible borders of confusion, boredom, despair, clearing a place within us into which the ocean's peace and tranquility can flow. The ebb and flow of the sea is like the ebb and flow of friendship, love, life. Like the sea, all our relationships, our very existence walks and wane, depleting our levels of faith and hope, then filling us again with a surge of joy that lets us believe once more in everything we love and in ourselves. Each gull, each wave, each fish is alone, as we are all alone, yet they are one with their kind, moving in a pattern they cannot see or perhaps even understand. And the pattern of the sea gives us new insight into the patterns of all life, leaving us content, at peace, and fulfilled. At first, we want them all. We run to catch each one. But soon we realize that these are only shells, empty houses left by the creatures of the sea. And we lay all but the most beautiful aside and carry one or two away with us. And I'll end there.
Thank you so much, Pamela Miller, both for your reflection on your own life in the sea and also for sharing with us from this book of inspirational uh, thinking. And I've put the title and the author in the chat for those who might want to go back and look at it. We'll begin now our time of meditation together and have an opportunity after that's over to share with one another any thoughts or um, experiences we might have had during that time. I now ring the gong to begin the meditation with thanks to Pamela. Welcome back, and thank you again to Pamela Miller for bringing us another wonderful meditation. Just thinking about and reflecting on and entering into your content, Pamela, I feel refreshed. And you did what you said water does, and I thank you for
Yeah.
that.